This is Brother Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
Well, we all be is once again honored to have on the one and only Dr. Randy Short, a man who, in the words of Duke Ellington, is truly beyond category. Fantastical human being, people's champ advocate, researcher beyond comparison, beyond category, and public intellectual extraordinaire. How are you doing today, sir?
Now, I am blessed, and again, thank you for the phenomenal work that you're doing, all the great people that you interview and put the word out. And I can't thank you enough for when I had my first documentary out. Nobody was watching it until you talked about it. So I hope you share.
Appreciate it.
About 2 more documentaries that I'm featured in, and I'm actually hoping that people are following and supporting and PayPaling and Patreoning you, because we can do anything with resources. The scriptures say money answereth all things. So I hope your money is answering the things that you need to advance your dream with We All Be Radio.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shaw. We really appreciate that, and we received that blessing. But there's so much stuff to talk about. I mean, it's like we're overwhelmed with stuff, a lot of distractions. But there's a lot of truth out there as well, too. And you are one of the truth tellers of our generation. So I want to talk to you a little bit, I guess, on the pop culture side, but also on a real tip about what's going on with Kanye West. Your thoughts about that?
Ooh. Okay, we're going to get the painful stuff done first. All right, look. My best buddy, when I finished divinity school at Harvard in 91, I had a job with the Post. I worked for the Marriott Corporation, and then I worked for when I was working for Marriott Corporation in 1992, there was a gentleman that I would always hook up. You know, when I worked hospitality, customer service, I always try to do extra stuff for Black people to make them feel welcome. Mm-hmm. And part because the people above me didn't like it, so it was my way to spite them. You know, give Black folks free stuff, wine. White people do that for white people. Why can't I do it for Black people? Okay. And one of the guys that I would do stuff for said, I want you to meet a friend of mine. So I says, okay. And he asked me to go over someplace, the 600 block of Massachusetts Avenue, Northeast. And I was sitting out there and I was sitting out there, a guy, dude about 5'9", glasses, seemed like a studious type person, came in and we started talking, and his name was Ray. And it turned out Ray was waiting for the same person, and it was some network marketing Ponzi scheme BS that I was big. This guy's name was Will something. Wanted us in, and we went. I didn't do the little garbage that they did, but I did stay in touch with the guy Ray, and we talked about politics and race and so forth. And over time, just in the 92, we just talked a lot. And he said, I'm not married. I'm not married right now. I'm just coming out of divorce. I said, really? Okay, well, cool. Well, just one divorce isn't so bad. I said, no, I've been divorced like 2 or 3 times. I think it may have been 3 times or 2 times. At least 2 times I've been divorced. Says, well, divorced already. At least you don't have any children. Says, oh, yeah, I have a son. Says, really? I says, okay, well, what's his name? He says, my son is Kanye. And I was like, what's Kanye? What is? It's like, all right, fine, Kanye. So he explained it's a kind of African name or whatever. I said, okay, I'll meet your son. In the summer, I think I met this man early spring of 92. He asked me to come by his place. He was staying in Tacoma Park, Maryland, just outside of D.C. It's a part of Tacoma Park is in D.C. and part of it is in Prince George's County. And Ray had gotten a HUD foreclosed condo property. That's like basement level. And the reason he invited me over was he wanted me to meet Kanye. And when I came in, Kanye was just up mixing music. Seemed like a nice kid. He and his dad were making smoothies because his father, Raymond, was at the American Bible College, I think. It's in Atlanta, Maryland. Mm-hmm. He was working on a master's degree in Christian counseling. His father was a Republican. His father was very, very religious. He didn't like cussing or like drinking or like smoking. He's very much into health. And he worked for a corporation called Paychecks. And, Ray is this very serious person. On top of that, Ray was selling personal safety devices and home safety devices. He's a very entrepreneurial, bright, tight guy. Anyway, he introduced me to Kanye, and I never will forget how he introduced me to Kanye. And I don't think Kanye will forget how he introduced me to Kanye. Mm. He said, this is my friend Randy. Randy has 4 degrees. I want you to be like him. And I would have never, I don't talk to you like, degrees. They haven't been done much for me financially. So I run around screaming about them, except for when someone tries to refer to me as if I don't know what I'm talking about. And Kanye never forgot that, because when he did his first album, College Dropout, mm-hmm. There's a monologue of a father and son arguing on the record. Yeah. That is about the meeting that Kanye and I had with his dad. Mm. I'm the person that Kanye is making reference to and mocking his father's voice with the 4 degrees. Mm. Okay, now, I'm just saying this. By the way, that same day, Ray wanted me to meet his ex-wife, Donda. And when I spoke, she was checking to see how Kanye was doing. And I'll just break this down. There's like this Oedipal conflict, or this fight between where the mother didn't want Kanye to be as close to his father. Like I said, the father's this very conservative type brother. He may have been a little wild when he was a Black Panther, where he met the mother at Atlanta University. I think he went to Clark. They went to Clark together, and he's in the Panthers and all this. But once she divorced him because Atlanta proved to be bootylicious to Kanye's dad. It's just Kanye's father's a really nice, a beautiful person. When he was younger, before he got converted, became a Christian, he spent a lot of his life in Germany, and then in predominantly white environments because his father's in the military. When he got down to Atlanta, his father had never seen so many fine Black women down at Atlanta University. Mm-hmm. And although he married her, I don't know the order of whether Kanye came. I don't know exactly how quickly between the time they met or marriage, whatever, but In a nutshell, Ray had wandering eyes and probably wandering members. And I think this contributed to Donda divorcing her husband, Ray. Ray had a major change in his life because he never wanted to be separated from his son or his wife. And Donda never forgave Ray. She's unforgiving. So Ray tried to reconcile and save or get married again or whatever, and she never let him come back. And he married and had a couple of very difficult marriages. And one thing he was proud of was he loved Kanye. I mean, when you hear him talk about Kanye, I mean, he's just, he's so happy because that's the only child he has that I'm aware of. Mm-hmm. What happened around the time I met Kanye, and shortly thereafter, Kanye got deeper and deeper into music, and Ray wanted Kanye to go to school and have a really good education like his mother and his father had. And Kanye was really into rap, hip-hop, producing music. At a certain point, Ray, who trusts me, and I love Ray, he's a good guy, began to tell me he had real fears about Kanye going into the music business. Almost like nightmarish fears. And initially I heard him out, but at a certain point, because Kanye was beginning to do all kinds of stuff, be with P. Diddy, do this, his father and I had like arguments for maybe 3 years about Kanye. I was pro Kanye going into the music business. And Ray was saying, you don't know Kanye. I'm his dad. Kanye's going to just go off the deep end if he gets in that business. And I was saying to his father, look, Ray, in a sense, the eras when you were with his mom put you in a position where the mothers taught him to disobey you or to be rebellious against you. And if you try to counter his desire to make it in the music business, it'll only push him further from you. You have to embrace his interest in music as a means to have a place of reaching your son where she can't pit you against your boy. And if you believe in God and you have faith that we can pray and support and get close to Kanye, maybe we can prevent him from going off the deep end like you fear. But if that's in his mind and his heart, he's going to do it. And we had this argument for years. I mean, it got really heated. And Ray, you can't stop people's dreams based on your fears. And I says, well, you don't know Kanye. I says, I don't. But I do know when people are determined to do something, the last person they want to hear tell them no is a divorced parent. He's going to do this. I said, you've got to put structure to keep him from going off the deep end. He's already said in his mind he's going to do it. Look in his eyes. You're his daddy, right? Anyway, in the summer of 1999, or the spring of 1999, they had an auto show at the old D.C. Convention Center, which has long since been knocked down. I got a call from Ray, and Ray asked me to hang out with him and Kanye. And so we rode over in their convertible to the convention center, looked at all the cars. Since I can't drive, an auto show ain't that interesting to me. And then all of a sudden, we got down to what the issue was. Ray driving, sitting in the back of the car with Kanye driving, proceeded, or no, I think I was in the back. Well, maybe I'm somewhere. Anyway, what happens, Ray tells me Kanye wants to go into the business, and I'm telling him he can't go. And I want you to tell him not to go into the business. And I says, Ray, I already told you I'm not against a person doing what they feel is best, provided it's not negative. And Ray was just like putting it down about how his feelings were. And so I'm in the middle of Kanye, who I don't know as well, and his father, who come to my house. We go to movies, go to church together. We would go and work in the homeless shelter. I mean, he's a really good man, Ray. And Kanye, I think to check stuff, he says, I just want you to hear something. And he put a tape in the, remember the audio tapes? He had an audio tape. And it was, I think it's called Lovely Senorita. I'll never forget hearing it. Mm-hmm. He was rapping, and he had these Spanish guitars and stuff mixed in, and it was beautiful. And I told him, stop the music. And Kanye got upset. And I said, no, I didn't tell you to stop because I didn't like it. I said, Kanye, you're going to have more Grammys than Stevie Wonder. You're going to be in the top 3. Your first album's going to make in the top 3 albums, the top 5. And you're going to be the best rapper, best known in the world, very shortly. Okay? Everything's going to be platinum for you. I says, believe that. Take my word. I don't compliment people. I think you know that about me, Erd. I don't like you. I hate. It's just, and I told Kanye, you're going to be one of the greats. And your father's going to have to cope with that. I said, so Kanye, we have a problem. You've got your dreams, and your father has his paternal religious reservations. And these are in conflict. And I've been put in a very odd place because I really don't like hip-hop in general. But I just love what I heard you play. I haven't heard anything this good since the old school stuff. And I know you're just aching to disobey and rebel against him, practically anything he says. And at the same time, I don't want him to stifle or stymie you. So says, well, look, Kanye, let's make a deal. First and foremost, your father's main reservations isn't with you being a musician, Kanye. Your father doesn't want you to become an embarrassment to black people and to disgrace your father and your mother and your people, making and doing a lot of ignorant things that are unbecoming of how you were brought up. Okay? I told him, I went to UVA with people who lived in $500,000, $1 million homes, who were running around acting like gangsters. And yet somebody like me from working class DC that lives in one of those thin townhouses where you can hear the people having sex next door, they would look down on where I live in Edgewood or Eckington in DC. But yet on the campus, they're coming across like they're thugs, like their parents didn't go to Stanford or to Syracuse. And Ray doesn't like this, and I hate it too. But Kanye, you still want to do this music thing. So here's what I'm going to do, Kanye. Okay? If you promise me that you're not going to be calling folks hoes and bitches and pretending like you grew up in the projects when you're a little preppy from suburban Chicago, and you're not running around tripping on booties, toasting drugs, I am willing to go against your father for you. But I need your promise that you're not going to make black folks or yourself or your mother, your father look stupid. That you're not going to get on drugs. You're not going to be a hoe. You're not going to be a promosexual. And that you're going to have some dignity. I mean, nothing wrong with music, but nobody needs any more of this perverse filth out here. Am I making myself understood that I'm not against you? I'm not an old humbug brother trying to, stymie your game. And his father was mad. And I says, I'll fight him. I know how to deal with him. but I need you to really say something to the people. And Kanye was listening, and I says, Kanye, look, hip-hop is bankrupt. It's not saying anything like it used to. It's been hijacked. But what you could do before you break out is take some time to think about doing some concept albums, so when you first come out, you got something saying where everybody's listening. Are you familiar with concept albums? I began to talk to him about concept albums. There's a concept album, Love is the Thing, right? Nat King Cole. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? Stevie Wonder's, Innovisions, Music of My Mind, Musicarium, Songs the Key of Life. I mentioned the Beatles. I mentioned Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, talking about actually really saying something. Even the Jackson 5 did a kind of concept dancing with that thing, Dancing Machine, that to have a unified message that people can enjoy. And I said, Kanye, I get the music business, okay? They're going to want you to sing about pussy and dick, dick and pussy, dick lost pussy, pussy lost dick, dick loves pussy, pussy hates dick, dick loves pussy, dick and pussy back together. I understand that they're going to want, of your 12 songs, they're going to want mostly that. But try to make at least 2 songs on your album mean something beyond the garbage that you have to do to please the crooked people in the music business, and you'll come out all right. And he says, well, what kind of concept can I do now? Well, I worked for Amnesty International as country specialist for the Sudan back then. And I said, Kanye, have you ever heard of conflict diamonds where they're cutting off all these people's hands for us to get diamonds to put on our rings and the wrappers on their chains and so forth? Nobody's done any music about conflict diamonds. Maybe you could do that. Are you with me, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That was the last time I spoke to Kanye. But I do know that song, Diamonds Are Forever, came out.
Yeah.
I didn't talk to Ray for a while after that. And the next time I remember talking to Ray was in 2000. Well, actually what happened, I went to Germany for Amnesty International in 2004. I think April 2004. When I was looking at the news in Berlin, I saw that Kanye's album was in the top 4 in the Billboard charts. I literally woke up to the TV, I fell asleep, and it was talking about Kanye. As soon as I got home, I looked for the card because Kanye didn't have cards. He wrote his number on the back of a card, and I called that number, and Kanye had changed his number. I hadn't called Kanye, man. I don't chase after people and whatever. So I haven't been able to talk to him, but I did talk to his father. And then 2005, Kanye's father and I, because his father, like what he's doing right now, if he's unhappy or he just disappears, you don't hear from him. You can't find him. I can write him and via email. I don't hear anything. That's how his father responds to stuff. So I haven't heard from Ray. I thought there was someone in the Dominican Republic I thought was his father. I was writing him, but that wasn't him. But his father and I talked in 2005 or 6, and his father told me, Randy, you're the only person I know that he listens to. And I said, well, Ray, you got to let me talk to him again. We've got to talk. It's very important. It didn't happen. And, I get it. I mean, things happen. But just before I moved to Tennessee, like a week or so, actually, I went and did an interview at Lane College in July of 2007. And I went to get my hair cut. You know, the barber shops on Georgia Avenue above Howard University, above the street. I was there, and I wanted to get my hair cut for my interview before flying out to Jackson, actually to Nashville, and then taking, a chauffeured ride from Nashville to Jackson. Okay, you know what happened? I get to the barber shop, and when I get into the chair, the Ellen show comes on. And the special feature for Ellen DeGeneres was Donda West with Kanye, talking about a book, Raising or Bringing Up Kanye. And what happened on the show, I was all right with it. I was telling people in the barber shop that Kanye needs to be closer to his dad because his mom's kind of wild. Okay? And what happened, as Kanye and his mother, before they went to a break, Kanye shouts out with the audience, "I love looking at pornography," with his mother sitting next to him on national television. And I says, this boy's mom's not going to live too long. And all the people in there started fussing at me. You don't know nothing about that boy. You don't know him. And you can't say how long anybody's mother's going to live. Okay? Well, I kept thinking about it and saying, man, Ray has to get Kanye back from his mom because that's the last person he needs to be around if he's going to say with his mom next to him on television he's into porn. That's a problem. Would you ever say that, sit next to your mom on national television, that you enjoy watching porn all the time?
I don't think I would, but who knows, man? I mean, the Lord of the fame thing.
So, well, his mother died in either 2007 or 2000. I think she died 2007 to 2008, between those years.
Right.
Okay. She was dead within a year of saying she's going to die. And people treat me like I'm crazy. She sure is dead. I'm sorry she's dead. Mm-hmm. Now, I just need to say to you, when I met Kanye and I talked to his mother, she cussed me out. She talked to me so poorly. I couldn't believe it. You don't even know me. What are you talking? But this was to show disrespect for Kanye's father. So I was nobody that she even should say hello, or all I did was say hello, how you doing? And she just cussed me out, went off, and was just tripping on me. And I just remember saying, God, please, don't let us ever have to talk again. I don't need this. And by the way, that was the first and last time I talked to Donda West. Mm-hmm. All right. Donda West dies. Everybody says Kanye sacrificed her. I don't believe that. And what I said to Ray West, is that when I did finally catch him, I did two things. We talked about Donda and Kanye. And I wanted him to meet Yvonne Chappelle, Dave Chappelle's mom, because I said, you guys both have famous, controversial children, sons. Y'all might be able to support and talk to one another. So I introduced Yvonne to Ray. They talked for a while, but I don't know what happened with that. That's how I am. I want black folk to help come together somehow and help each other. We're always under stress. But what I said to Ray, I offered condolences on the passing of his first wife, but I says, Ray, why was she trying to get her breasts redone to impress those young boys around Kanye? That's a hell of a price to pay. You see, people out here are so quick to say something bad about Kanye and say that he killed his mama and all this other garbage, without recognizing that just maybe what happened to her was her trying to be a cougar off of the entourage of her son. or the people around. And things like that happen, okay? That's how I think. I don't think Kanye sacrificed his mom, but I do think Kanye being in the music business with all that wildness and other things brought about a situation wherein there was money and the time and the possibility for her to make a really awful decision that cost her his life, cost Kanye his mother, cost Raymond West his first real love, and it's brought a whole lot of negative ramifications spiritually on Kanye. All right? And something else, and I'm not making any judgments. People called the group that Kanye was with the Backpack Gang and made all sorts of references to maybe the young guys were kind of weak or effeminate or whatever. I don't know these people. I'm not saying anything one way or the other. I know folks will swear by it, but that isn't something that I'm prepared to do because I don't know anything about these gentlemen. But I do know that Kanye's father is zero tolerance on gayness. Okay? He's absolutely has no interest in having a gay son or gay anything. That's just him, straight up. You have no business doing it, okay? So if there's any odd, strange stuff that you know goes on in that business, filth that goes on in that business, confusion that goes on in that music business that someone may have been introduced to, exposed to, or participated in, his father's the last person he's going to be able to just sit down and say, hey, Dad, I made a mistake. Or even if he didn't do it, I'm around these people doing this. His father's not going to be cool with that. So when you think about the fact that Kanye's the only child, he has no sisters or brothers, right? And he's not close or connected to the West family. I don't know how tight he is with the other people on his mom's side. Then Kanye ends up with this sex magic broad with the artificial booty. It looks nice, but, you know, artificial fruit looks nice, but you can't eat it. All right?
Yes, sir.
So Kanye is surrounded by these, I think they're Armenian Jews, and these folks aren't good for the man's soul. I'm not trying to bust up anything. If you got to be with well, at least she's a kind of attractive Becky, but these people are nothing like the non-denominational fundamentalism of his dad. I mean, this dad's a righteous dude. I mean, Thanksgiving and Christmas going down to the gospel mission in Chinatown in D.C., feeding the hungry and the homeless. Mm-hmm. I hope I don't sound like I'm tearing down Kanye or his dad. I hope I'm not trying to tear down. When you care about people, I'm not trying to trash anyone.
That's right.
I hope it doesn't sound like that to you.
No, I think I'm giving a balance, your perspective. I don't think it's bashing anybody. Just being honest.
And so I haven't heard from Ray now in 10 years.
Wow.
I know that when Kanye went off, when the white girl, Tyler Swift, whatever she is, and he had his hair cut and he was running with Amber and all this stuff, I'm pretty certain as his father who feared and saw this stuff coming, he's got to really feel bad. And you know what's interesting? You never hear about his father, Ray's presence with these children that Kanye has. And I'm going to say something. I know one thing I know Ray couldn't deal with. There's no way that Ray West is going to want to be around no Caitlyn Jenner. This is absolutely, I'm just telling you, that's World War 50. So if you had only one son that you loved, and his father-in-law has artificial boobs, calling himself Woman of the Year, his father has to feel a heavy sense of loss. And Kanye, who acknowledged that he was on opioids and all this other stuff, he's in real bad moral, ethical, spiritual shape. But when you look at people like Cosby, you look at people like Tiger Woods, you look at people like OJ, they surround themselves or get surrounded by opportunistic, decadent, hedonistic, connected white folks. Huh?
Yes, sir.
And black folk, I don't know any Kardashians. I don't know. It's almost impossible. I don't know of any way to get to anyone that I would know. I don't know how to get to anybody that could talk to say, hey, look, man, I don't want a record or I don't want any money. I just want to, in fact, I just want to talk to your father because I figure at least we're friends for real. I just know you're a son of a close friend. So I believe he's in trouble. I believe that that's a vicious, demonic, satanic business. I believe that this guy is trying to break out of where he is, but like the prodigal son in the book, you can find yourself in the hog pen before you find your way back home. And I hope he finds his way back home alive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to say about Kanye.
Cool.
Kanye's father, I'm certain, loves this boy. And I saw something, Wendy Williams, her silly Pisces of fish-looking self, made a statement about his father. Ray West tried. Ray West was a good father. Ray West has been supportive of his son. But, you know, when children get a certain age, they do what they want to do. He's a grown-ass man. So let us hope that he can detox. Someone can get to him and pull him away from those folks. But I'll tell you something about Kanye. My buddies who I want you to talk to in Chicago, there were some people, Fred Hampton Jr., they know Kanye. Kanye got away from all the people in the hood who would protect them from people who weren't treating them with respect and so forth. But it was Fred Hampton Jr. who went off on Kanye to make Kanye go off on Bush over Hurricane Katrina, if you want to know where that came from.
Mm.
That was to get street cred with the brothers back in Chicago who were saying, you got to give something back. Kanye has not been generous back in Chicago to people who were with him way back. And so we see this story over and over again of people getting out there, becoming big and important and forgetting the people that they came up with. This is why, brother, I don't have a problem as long as people treat me right, no matter how far or high up I get, to do your show or other people, even people's blog shows, as long as they treat me right.
Mm-hmm.
Because not before, I did Press TV before I met you, I did RT before I met you. I mean, I've done television off and on since I was 15 and radio since I was 12. At some point I'm doing it. I mean, so it's a long time at 53. But the people who helped me when I was coming up or when I've been in the process of becoming are the same people I want to deal with always. We may have a falling out like that woman that you had called me with, said she became a sex slave after 12. Right. I just said, I can't, her, don't send me nobody else like that. I mean, it's not that they weren't cute or whatever, but I'm trying to help you. I'm not trying to get none. Mm-hmm. Not someone telling me you're getting raped by people. Why would I want some of that? I mean, may confuse my DNA with the rapist, and they come and lock me up. No.
You got a point.
I'll take the vegetarian alternative, sister. Where's my hand? There you go. I'm fine now. Okay. Now, so that's Kanye. I feel really bad about Kanye because you need to know I tried to do something with Malcolm Shabazz. We were getting there and folks didn't like our relationship. They separated him from me and they killed him. I tried, and Marion Barry's son reached out to me, and then I guess the people around him didn't want him talking to me. And now he's dead.
Wow.
Okay? I've had some people that I reached out to Darren Seal, try to get a rapport with Seal, and he couldn't perceive. Ain't trying to do nothing. I just have love for people struggling. Could never get the connection. He's gone. I hate to see young black men or women that you care about be destroyed. And sometimes it's because of their mindset or drugs or something that gets in the way of what they could be. Because someone wants to destroy them. I'm a Christian. I believe that Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. That there are things destroying us, and we need strong, upright people to be around. Mm-hmm. And the only thing I'll say is Yvonne Sion, I wanted me to be friends to Dave for me to be of some help to him. I've never quite had the opportunity because it's a similar thing of folks being surrounded by, and certain folks don't get, the mental space to say, hey, brother, I see you now and then. Who are you? You get where I'm coming from.
Right.
I'm not saying anything bad about that brother other than, always keep some of these people in prayer, and particularly if they're truly creative, if they're truly insightful people like Dave is, then they see a lot of pain. Mm-hmm. A lot of entertainers, Marvin Gaye, a distant cousin of mine, had a lot of pain. Yeah, I'll break that down real fast. Marvin Gaye's mother's a Cooper from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. She went to the same high school as my grandmother, and my grandfather, is from Rocky Mount, Wilson. The Coopers are our family. So, yeah, Marvin Gaye is my cousin to his mom.
Okay.
Can't sing as well as him, but you know what made it freaky?
Hold up. My
auntie is Kim Weston that used to sing with Marvin. You have to have her on your show. I'm going to give you her number.
Okay.
And it blew my mind. This is real talk. When she came to our family reunion, because my uncle named his first daughter for Kim Weston. And it turns out my cousin Kim, short elder, looks just like Kim Weston. Imagine you naming someone for someone, the child turns out looking like them as an adult. And I was talking to her Kim the other day. And when Kim was here, 2011, Kim told me, she came and woke me up because we were sharing the same hotel room, and says, I'm so glad you had me come to your family reunion. I really like your mother. And I'm like, okay. And I want to tell you something about yourself and your family. So I'm like, okay. She says, I really like your mother. Says, why? That's just because your mother reminds me of my best friend in the 60s. Says, well, who's that? Mrs. Gaye. And I says, my mother doesn't look like Marvin Gaye's mother. She started yelling at me. I knew her. I used to eat her fried chicken. Your mama and Mrs. Gaye could be twins when they are the same age. Says, now something else I want to say to you. You are like Marvin Gaye. You have a conflict. There's a conflict between your father and you over your mother.
Wow.
And it's like, oh my God. Well, there's some of that, a little truth in that. And she says, your family's just like Marvin Gaye's family. It's kind of true. In fact, my father was friends to Marvin Gaye's dad. the the cross dresser.
Okay, your dad didn't cross dressing like that, right? He didn't do that.
No, my dad was no. My dad wasn't a cross dresser. And Frankie Gay, Marvin Gaye's younger brother, was in my father's singing group and Bible study group. Went to the same high school, Stingon High School. Okay. So, they are cousins.
Wow.
Okay. My father, he's so religious and not into popular music, never explored as to why. Our families were so closely connected. But yeah, isn't that amazing? Who's what, whom? I mean, I don't know. And imagine, I didn't really think about it until Kim Weston said to me, "You're like Marvin Gaye." I said, my brother used to say stuff like that, but I thought my brother, my brother. But when she says yes, you're just like the Gaye family. And one of the things I learned when you do genealogy is when people have family dynamics and talent and all this stuff in common, they're often related, even if they don't know it. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started trying to understand where the family came from. And I found out, oh my God, I am related to him. I never thought about it. Okay, so anyway, now for that, let's do my other family member. Let's talk about Bill Cosby.
Yes.
Okay, so fire away. I'm done with Kanye. Did I answer questions? Does this sound like, is that something you think your audience would want to hear?
Oh, they would love it. I mean, that background story, I mean, it'd be funny if he'd come out and say something about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I know Dr.
I love Kanye. I love this, that we didn't put, I didn't trash nobody.
Oh, no, you didn't.
And you know I can drop kick.
Oh, yeah, you good at that, man. You got verbal judo over there. You're a master at that. But I want to ask you about his thoughts about what he said about slavery as a choice and the other things he's been saying that seem to have people upset.
Being with the white woman's a choice. Slavery is called involuntary servitude. Now, if Kanye is talking about mental slavery, where blacks in the last 50 years decide not to move forward, he's got a point. However, he poorly articulated my interpretation of what he said. However, what I will say to you, my family lived in the Dismal Swamp, okay? The Dismal Swamp, between Virginia and North Carolina.
Yeah. My
folks refused to be slaves, and our family just wouldn't do it. They just wouldn't. So, in a sense, being subordinate to other people does require the acquiescence and the cooperation of the dominated.
Yep, I agree.
And so there is a degree of that in all instances. Let me tell you, in jail, they have to let the prisoners get high and have sex and use drugs in order to control the prisoners. In the prisons right now. In fact, they have to give a degree of freedom to the prisoners in order to control them. Wow. They were too tough on the prisoners. They'd rebel all the time, right? So they give us just enough freedom to keep us compliant with the system. Huh?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so, in reality, we support, most black people are supporters of white supremacy and white hegemony. I can pick my favorite place, the black church. You can get a Negro preacher to go to Harvard or Yale or to, what's that place? ITC in Atlanta and get all the information about the African origins of the Bible and the people there. And yet when they get a church, if the Sunday materials have all white people and the white Jesus is up everywhere, then that little pale sissy and all the little strange albinos in the publications and the fans remain the same. Nobody white made them have those fans. Nobody white made them have that literature. Nobody white made them have the iconography in their church. Not now. But you can go in a black church and almost everything's white, except for the devil. Okay? And I can go on and on. Ebony Magazine, 1969, put a black Jesus on the cover. Ebony almost went out of business. Black people so angry. How dare you? So a lot of people, In the words of the friend of Superfly, was I'm a slave, but I'm a rich-ass slave, before he called up the white folks to have Superfly killed, or attempt to have him killed. Black folks are happy to be rich-ass slaves, most of us. So in that instance, I agree with Kanye. And if it made a lot of black people angry, especially the coons, I'm glad he said it. Not so much that I agree with the way it was interpreted, but a lot of black folks, they need to be insulted and slapped around, beat up. But wake up. There's a war going on. And there are too few people doing the fighting for black people's self-defense, self-determination, and freedom. We got a lot of jive, fake people, freeloaders, grifters, passive thugs, riding the fence. We need to electrify that and put a taser up there behind. Why do you have to work so hard to promote your show with all the good stuff you're putting out there? Why do certain preachers and folks I've seen trying to do the right thing have to work so hard? And the little crooked devils, like Klepto Dollar.
Klepto Dollar. I like that.
She's the fake instead of Jakes. It's fake. That's what I just said. These people have it so easy, and righteous black folk have it so hard. You know, Martin Luther King talked about in the book, Where Do We Go From Here, Chaos or Community? He talked about the absolutely minimal numbers of black people doing what was necessary to turn things around, and how the majority weren't doing anything. W.B. Du Bois, who I often disagree with, has an essay called The Meaning of Progress. And he talked about if everybody sacrificed, then sacrifices wouldn't fall so heavily on anybody. But if a few have to sacrifice all for the many, then it's too much of a burden. So I see it every day of my life, treason and voluntary slavery. I see it at the HBCUs. I see it in black organizations. I see it in the black woman who is the penthouse centerfold, Playboy centerfold, who jumps out the window, killing her half-white baby and herself. Why in God's name are you exposing your vagina to men that hate you in the first place, fool? And why did you feel justified to kill your half-black baby? You know, wow. I mean, I look at the Congressional Black Caucus. There are almost 50 of them. Why can't they have some hearings on poisonous water in Flint and in Brooklyn and in Newark and Philly and in Baltimore and in D.C. and in Houston? Huh? I mean, they can't have a conversation. We're not talking about throwing a brick or say kill Whitey. Just talk about it. Isn't that what Congress people do? Not these slaves, brother. Okay? And these people are voluntary slaves. Huh? Yeah. If my folks could be free in the Dismal Swamp, to the point that Nat Turner was trying to move into our neighborhood, that's where they stopped him from going. They knew where he wanted to go, to our neighborhood. Huh? If black folks could be free when slavery was the law of the land, we don't have a lot of excuses right now. And I'm not talking about everybody. But look at some of this. Look at how stupid black people were over OFAGA. They didn't do nothing for us. You had DACA and DAPLA, jobs and scholarships and public housing and SNAP for illegal aliens as they dispossess black folks. And I see these coons with Obama T-shirts and paraphernalia. I hope the Klan run up on them. Dummies. I'm glad they have a injunction against his library. In fact, I hope they arrest Obama just for it to traumatize the Boule coons and the Boule wannabes, because a lot of black folks talk bad about the Boule because they're not one, not because they hate what they stand for. A lot of black folks, they don't hate racism in general. They hate racism against them. Hate all the rest of them, be nice to me. Discriminate against all the rest of them, but let me in. That's a disgusting trait in black folks. So if Kanye rasped those fools, cool. I just hope it was intelligence and not opioids talking.
Mm-hmm.